BSHL fans, welcome to the unofficial BSHL Podcast. Here's your host, Corey and Corey.
Hello and welcome to the unofficial BSHL Senior Hockey League Podcast. I'm your host, Corey, joined by my co-host, Corey.
Yep.
Thanks to Adam once again for the intro. Not as busy of a weekend this weekend, Corey, hockey-wise.
Yeah.
But as exhausting of a weekend as I've had in a long time.
Probably more.
Something about weddings are draining because there's just a lot of effort. You want to see everything go well.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the cause of anything going wrong.
No. Once you're there, it's fun.
Oh, man. It's
Once
fun.
you're there, it's very fun.
Lead up is definitely nerve-wracking a little.
Yeah. Had fun, though. On the air, congratulations to Rosanna and Joel untying the knot and to many years of good health and happiness.
I had a blast at the wedding. Congrats to Joel, good friend of ours, and to Rosanna, who's also a good friend of ours. But,
Absolutely.
Joel's been friends with you for, 20 years, 30 years?
Actually, it's going to be 20 years next year.
That's insane.
So 2005, we first started talking about WWF, ECW, WCW, WWE, all that good shit. And wrestling's been a big deal in my life, as most people know. And Joel's been, along with you and a few other friends, been, my main source of conversation when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah, for sure. Joel's a good guy. So the wedding was at the Hopewell Rocks.
First time being there.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
If the food was very Joel and Rose.
Yeah.
Laid back food. It was hot dogs, hamburgers, salads. Man, those hot dogs were stellar.
Do you know what they reminded me of? Miramichi.
If I'm getting married, that's probably the way I'd want to do it too. I think about like a poutine bar or something fun, like something that's like stuff people want to eat. You know what I mean? Corey's like, poutine bar, that sounds delicious.
Well, since you've went, if I were to get married first, I'd have to have a girl willing to withstand me for a long period of time, which will never happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're all safe. There will be no wedding on my end.
But seriously though, I think the food's a fun choice, and they made a great choice. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Man, what a view at the Rocks during sunset.
Sunset, yeah, that was amazing.
Unreal.
Especially where we were sitting, the window is right in front of us, just beautiful orange over the ocean and the mountains and all that. It was absolutely breathtaking.
Yeah, it was a great time. We did get some hockey on Friday and on Sunday. Do you want to go through the weekend results and then we'll break that down some?
Yes, sir. The game that we were at in the peninsula, to begin to be specific, we live streamed that game, and a lot of people hate me because of it.
There you go.
4-3, Bucktouche beats the Peninsula in Shippagan. Miles Clements of Bucktouche, 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points. Alex Minoso, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. Logan Timmons, 1 goal, and it ended up being the game winner for the Peninsula. Our good buddy Pat Jones with 1 goal, Danny Chiasson with 1 goal, and Lucien Carl Saunier with 1 goal. I did the cardinal sin of saying we are going to overtime with a minute left. No less than 5 seconds later, Bucktouche scored. There was this old man next to me, and he looked at me and he goes, "You proud of yourself?"
Were you?
I was not. I felt horrible.
There was a controversial goal a couple of minutes before where the puck went up into the netting.
Yeah, I got a lot to say about that. I get both sides of the argument.
From where I was standing, so I was by the glass in the corner taking pictures, extremely close to where the puck went out. The puck hit the net, I think. Mm-hmm. Like from where I saw it, the puck went out. So I agree with the call. Go ahead, Corey.
I agree with the call. I don't agree with waiting. This is the second time we seen this. We saw this in LC versus Miramichi, and with that one, was the puck in? Was the puck out? It doesn't matter. The 2, 3, 4 minutes later, they call it a goal. It's fine. LC ended up winning that game. That was the only goal from Miramichi. The only argument that I said you could do is, well, maybe you took away a shutout from Ryu, but it's a moot point. With this one, puck was out, but I had no less than 20 people as I'm putting away your tripod saying, do you have the footage of that? Do you have the footage of that? And I was like, well, it's on the live stream, and Corey needs to like make it go through so it goes like
it is public.
To go public. That's the word I was looking for.
It is public now.
Now it is. At the time, I just ended the stream. Shippigan fans or Peninsula fans were absolutely pissed off, and I get it. And for Bucktouche, it's a lucky break. But at the end of the day, the right call is the puck was out of play. My problem is, call it immediately if you've seen it. That is you're just asking for trouble there.
So you just wish the linesman that I assume was one of the linesmen that called it out of play. Just
someone saw it
immediately.
Someone saw it. You saw it. Call it out of play. If they got this weird rule that only the referees can call whatever, you've seen it. Call it. You. It took the. It ended Shippigan. It ended the Peninsula's game right there. It took the wind right out of their sail. They weren't in the game anymore. They felt cheated. And it's something that should really be, not a thing. You've seen it, you call it now, because the worst possible thing that can happen happened. We thought it couldn't get worse with the LC Miramichi game, and it did.
Yeah. It was the right call. Odd way for it to go down, and definitely the fans were pretty upset.
Oh yeah. And then I jinxed them, so I'm part of the problem. So. Second game on Friday, we had the Miramichi Northmen defeat the Amherst Ducks 7-2. Goal scorers, and there's quite a bit. Nolan Allward, 1 goal, 3 points. Josh Russell, 1 goal, 3 points. Brendan Milson, 2 goals. Brett Young, 1 goal, 2 points. Kennedy Gallant, 1 goal. Julian Hebert, 1 goal. Alex Bernier and Bryce Milson, both with 2 assists. And the 2 goals for the Ducks were Dylan Matthews, 1 goal, 2 points. Reed Voss, 1 goal. And Gavin Hart had 2 assists. I did not check the live stream yet. We finished this week. We're on Monday right now. And I wake up this morning and I'm sick again. So just my luck. But a lot of people were saying this was a pretty rough game.
The penalties, I think there's like 15 penalties listed. It's pretty significant amount of penalties. Yeah, good game for the Milsons. I think a couple assists for Bryce, couple goals for Brandon. These guys, man, are underrated. They don't get talked about enough in the league for the skill that they have and how good they are. This is 2 of the best guys, 2 of the best players in the league, in my opinion.
We were in Bucktouche last night. So 2 nights ago when this comes out on Sunday. And watching Bryce Milson on the ice, at one point we're just watching the game and I turned to you and I'm like, man, I really love Bryce Milson's play. And you're like, yeah, man, he's pretty fantastic. And like people keep forgetting, Miramichi still has some pretty top talent.
Oh yeah, a lot of skill there. No real reason that they can't make a push for this later on as long as they stay healthy. Unfortunately, the crowds are a little smaller this year than last year, but I think that's going to pick up as the year goes along. And
we're seeing it fluctuate back and forth.
Yeah.
Some places are packed, and then some weeks it's half full. We're still early in the season. When people really get excited when the playoffs are coming closer, I think it's just gonna peak out.
Absolutely. That was all of the games for Friday. Saturday we had Elsa Pucktuck, who made the trip to Dalhousie while we were watching Joel get married. So we were not at this game.
We were not at this game.
We were keeping track thanks to Eric Peltier.
Thank you, Eric Peltier, and Mark Giroux as well.
Yep.
Me a second.
Corey's coughing his ass off right now. He's back.
Sorry about that. Before we go into this game, might as well talk about the breaking news that happened. When was this? Was this Friday?
Thursday, we heard the rumblings. Friday, it was announced by the Hawks. Yeah. Saturday, it was announced by the Peninsula.
So the LC Puck Duck Hawks have signed co-MVP from last year, Peter Traynor.
Huge signing.
Adam Crow. Yeah. And David Brewer.
So the whole line.
The whole line. You know, we heard Gab Vanier went down with injury. He was doing pretty well. Now you're getting you're getting one of the top lines from the River Valley Lumberjacks, which is
finalist.
The finalist.
Insane.
Someone messaged me and they said, "I get it, I like it, but I kind of feel like it's unfair."
Yeah, I mean,
I get that.
I'm glad to see them back in the league.
Same.
But yeah, man, it's crazy that they signed all three of them. I love it because I love seeing them play together. So
yeah, and then the thing that was mind-boggling to me, seeing the roster that went to Dalhousie, they were the third line.
I know.
How friggin' stacked is the Hawks right now, and that's not even done. The Peninsula have signed Benji Curtis, Brady Patterson, and Kenny Robinson.
That's correct. What does this do to the Peninsula? So they're a grittier team now. Immediately, you add Robinson. He's a great player. He's a team player who's going to do whatever you need. You need him to drop the gloves. He's going to drop the gloves. You need somebody to go out there and throw 3 or 4 hits. He's going to do that for you. Benji's year in, year out, one of the best players in the league. He's going to score some goals. Amazing leadership. Patterson's a young kid, getting better every year. So I think this is a huge signings for the Peninsula.
It's a huge. I get some places being like, this isn't fair. It's been allowed. It's official. It's that this is what it is. Elsie went into Dalhousie.
Yep.
And if there's one game that if I'd have to pick one game, like you're telling me, like last week, you're like, Corey, we can only see one game live this week. Just one. It can be any game. This is probably the game that I would have picked if I would have known how this game would go.
Yep.
So the game quickly ended up being like 4-1, I believe, for Dalhousie or something like that. And the Hawks rallied back, and the Hawks beat Dalhousie 5-4 in a shootout.
Yeah.
Goal scorers here: Robbie Graham with 2 goals, Jeremy Hanna with 1 goal and 2 points, Wayne the Train Jones with 1 goal, and Alex Arsenault with 2 assists. For Dalhousie, like, it was an even game. It ended in a shootout. You know, one had to take 2 points, one had to settle with 1. But Joey Bernard, 2 goals. Pascal Valcourt, 1 goal, 3 points. I say it every week. It's Pascal Valcourt. This guy's good at hockey. What are you going to do about it? You know, JJ Allison, 1 goal, and Francis Thibault with 2 assists. If we would have been able to see this game, this probably wins game of the week.
I agree. Unfortunately, there's no live stream of it. No live stream, no video, no nothing. So impossible.
We'll make a decision on Thursday what game of the week was. We're not decided yet. But it's like Corey said, there's just, I think Mark Giroux went live for like 30 seconds during the warm-up.
I love Giroux, man. It's funny.
Giroux's such a great guy.
I only saw it afterwards. But yeah, thanks to the Dalhousie boys for posting the score updates. We kept track of that during the wedding or during the end of the reception. And then during our drive home, I think we had left when it was finishing.
Yep. We were on the road, and I believe it was like 4-2.
Yeah.
And then you're like, Hawks power play. Hawks scored.
Graham. Yeah, crazy game, man.
Tie game. We're going.
It was a fun one to track. Not there, if that makes sense. It was exciting to read.
So the Hawks now, I believe, are in second place, or no, they're tied for second with Miramichi, I believe.
Yeah,
because of Miramichi's win against Amherst. But there was one more game on Sunday, the sole game, the Bucktoosh JCs beat the Miramichi Northmen 7-6 in overtime. A great victory
Hell of a
for
game.
Bucktoosh. This shows how Miramichi is going to be 18. They've been probably the team I've been having most fun watching this season because
why?
They get down, but they don't stay down. They fight, they fight, they fight. They're like, you think I can't? Watch me. They tied this game up. I'm going to go through the goal scorers, and I'm going to give a few of my opinions here. Bucktoosh JCs beat the Miramichi Northmen 7-6 in overtime. Patrice Carmier, what a friggin' game for him. 1 goal, 4 assists for 5 points. That's according to the website. There's an interview later on with Patrice, and while I was back there, they were saying 6 points for Patrice. 6 points. So I don't know if the website got it wrong or if they got it wrong. It's a hell of a lot of points for Patrice Carmier. Pierre-Alexandre Paronto, he got a hat trick last night. Logan Timmins got 2 goals. Now, mind you, that's the entire line right there. All right? So you're talking about 10 points between that line.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
It's pretty impressive, man. 5 goals by that line.
Crazy.
6 goals.
6 goals. 6 goals. Alex Savoie with 1 goal, and I believe he got the game winner, right?
Game winner.
Malcolm Arsenault with 2 assists. Miramichi, Miramichi was down, I believe, what was it, like 4-1,
5-1, something like that. Yeah, they were down.
That. And in the third, they just peppered the JC's goal.
Very quick.
Very quickly.
1 goal, another goal, another goal. Like, it was instantly, it's like, oh, this is a game.
Yeah. And goal scorers here, Bryce Milson. He impressed the hell out of me here. 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points. Our old buddy Chris Keating with 1 goal and 2 points. Avery Brennan with 1 goal. Brendan Milson with 1 goal and 2 points. Jeff Wilson, 1 goal. And Alex Bernier with 2 assists. What a game this was.
So we always toot, Bryce Milson, the stars on the JCs, et cetera, et cetera. What a beautiful shot by Avery Brennan.
Mm-hmm.
Great shot. What a goal. Like, this guy, man, he drops the gloves with the best of them. He's not scared of anybody. Super nice guy. Mm-hmm. But, he can score some goals. This is a senior hockey player right here.
Yep,
he can do a little bit of everything, and I love watching Miramichi, man. Yep. For me, Miramichi is one of the funnest, if not the funnest team to watch this year because they're physical as hell. They throw hits like crazy. They're the underdog sometimes, but they're going to battle and win some of those games.
It's funny for me, like the 2 guys that I enjoy watching the most on the Miramichi Northmen right now is Bryce Milson and Josh Russell.
Yeah, Josh Russell battles.
Always noticeable on the ice. They just take no shit from anybody. I must say this game was nearly perfect, but once again, we have to talk about some controversy here.
Yeah. Was the net off or was it not?
If it was off by never stop playing. That's my advice. Never stop playing. Vautour stopped playing. Guard down, just standing up straight, and Bucktoosh scored. If Bucktoosh doesn't score that goal, we're probably talking about how Miramichi made this huge comeback and won the game.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about that. You stopped playing, and the referees gathered in the middle. This time it didn't go the way that they wanted to. They signaled goal. They didn't see the net off the moorings. I can't say I didn't, or I can't say that I saw anything because I was so confused by this whole thing that I didn't look. So did somebody bump into it and put it back in? Was it off? Was it not off? I don't know. But the one thing, never stop playing just in case.
So Cheryl has a good clip of this, and it's on the Facebook page, and the net's off by about an inch. It looks like it's not off by much. Definitely Vautour kind of stood up because he thought it was off, and it probably was off, to be fair. If the goalie feels like it's off, it's probably off. But the refs didn't feel that way. The refs didn't see it. They called it a goal. And It is what it is. But yeah, definitely never stop playing. And yeah, without that goal, Miramichi wins it in regulation.
Yeah. Instead, they end up with 1 point. It was a hell of a game to be at.
So much fun.
Because there was a lot of Miramichi fans there. We started
you can tell
on
that. The 50-50 got the Miramichi bump. The Miramichi fans are like the best 50-50 buyers in the league. It's not close. You can argue with me till you're blue in the face. You're wrong. You don't go to enough games in Miramichi if you don't think that's true. The 50-50 in Bucktush is always 1,500 or maybe, I don't know, 1,300. Over $2,000, and the JK wasn't that packed. There was a lot of people, but it wasn't like packed.
It wasn't a sellout.
No, and that 50-50 was a sellout 50-50. Miramichi, man, those guys are. I love the Miramichi fans.
What made me laugh is we
did not win the 50-50. Let me be clear.
I didn't even buy a 50-50, but we started on one side of the building.
Yeah,
and we were near Miramichi fans because they kept like cheering on the Northmen, and we gradually made our way more and more towards the entrance, but down, if that makes sense, near the glass. And we ended up sitting down right where the glass was when the third period started. And every time that Miramichi would score, there would be an echo, but an echo that was far away, on the other side of the building where we used to be. And where we were, silence. You could have heard
we were in JC territory by then.
Yeah, and when Vautour was pleading his case, the net was off. Oh, the JC's fan tried to torch him, and he played it off well. Just you don't listen to the crowd, but
you listened to them though. They kept going, "Hey, Vautour, you suck," and you were like, "What did I do wrong?" Yeah, I'm just sitting here. Leave me alone. God,
how do you know my name, by the way?
Have we met? Great game though. What a fun game. Man, I don't have much to complain about with the two games that we saw this weekend. They were both very competitive, a lot of fun. God, this league right now is insane. I was talking to some Miramichi fans, and man, some people are frustrated because of the confusion from the rules. Who's signed as an import, who's not an import, who's a junior A or less. It does get confusing, and I'll say it gets confusing for us, and we know a lot of those rules. So it's a tough one, but yeah, because I know a lot of people are upset because Benji signed for Miramichi and then he had to get released because he had too many games in the queue. Then he signed with the Corsal. How did he sign with the Corsal? Corsal still had their import card, so they signed him to their import card.
So that's one of the things that people should know. Miramichi's import is
Alex Bernier.
And Benji was going to be brought in as a junior A or less.
Yeah.
Too many games played in the queue. Corsar, the Peninsula, their import was still free. They got Benji. The other two, I believe, count as junior A or less. Yeah. It's the same with the Hawks. Peter Trainer's coming in as their import. And the other two are junior A or less. So
exactly,
that's the rule right there.
Yep, it gets confusing. I get it, especially once you're 3 weeks. Is this week 3 or week 4?
Week 4.
Week 4. Once you're 4 weeks into the season, and people are still making not little tiny cricket signings. They're signing Peter mother effing Trainer. These are huge signings.
Who wins? And you're probably not even going to want to answer this one, but Peninsula or Hawks? Who had the bigger signing?
The Hawks.
You think?
Yeah, Peter Trainer. It's nothing against Benji. I love Benji, but Peter Trainer is a game changer. I don't know that fuck, can't remember their name right now. Did I smash my head off the desk? I don't know that the Lumberjacks make the finals without Trainer.
Yeah.
I don't know that they make it without Benji either, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'd take either of them on my team for different reasons. Peter Trainer's in his prime, skilled. He's going to score a ton of goals. One of the best goal scorers in the league. One of the best goal scorers I've ever seen in senior hockey.
Yeah, I agree.
Period. End. Benji Curtis is a team player who's going to go into the corners and battle and rile up his team on the bench. I've heard he's a good guy in the locker room. Like, he's that guy. Which one's more valuable? I don't know. That's like saying, well, what's better, poutine or pizza? They're not the same thing, so I can't tell you. But for me, I'm going to take the pizza. For me, I'm probably going to take Peter Traynor. But I also would understand if a team said, no, I'd rather have that leadership.
Yeah,
I don't think that's the wrong choice either. So it's tough. Who wins it? I think the Hawks win it because they signed that whole fucking line. That's why I think the Hawks win it. They kept the chemistry. They signed that whole line. The Peninsula signed 3 Lumberjacks, and it's a great signing. I think Kenny adds something that they were missing. Patterson's a good young defenseman. I think he's got a lot of upside. And Benji is Benji. We all know Benji. But, man, the Hawks signed a whole line. It was a sick signing. Just a sick signing. It's so cool. And the way they announced it all at once, I don't know what the hell happened in the Southern League. I know the Southern League is still going. I wish them nothing but the best. But, man, the Beausejour League won this weekend big with those 6 signings. I wish them nothing but the best. I would have gone to the Southern League just to see those 6 guys play for Trico. So them coming over to our league is a huge coup. I still want to get to Minto and check out some hockey, but
I'd like to go see a senior league, a Southern League,
senior league game. Yeah.
So next on the agenda is our weekly picks.
Oh,
look at that smile on the big
bang,
boss.
Bang! Vautour loses again.
He did. I went 2-2. Corey went 3-1.
Tell me
the one that mattered is the Peninsula versus Bucktouche. I had picked the Peninsula. Corey had picked Bucktouche. I jinxed the Peninsula. Bucktouche got the win. I got Miramichi versus Amherst and Bucktouche versus Miramichi.
Yeah.
I got wrong Peninsula and Bucktouche, and I got Dalhousie and Elsie wrong.
I also got Dalhousie, Elsie wrong.
Yep, and I can feel Travis. He's going to just strangle us. But Dalhousie is the only thing Corey got wrong. He got Bucktouche, Miramichi, and Bucktouche again. So our picks are now at, for me, 7-11, 7-11. And Big Boss has 13-5.
13-5. That's the kind of record that'll get you to a cup game in the NCAA football.
You said
that's a good record.
Last week. Here's the thing.
Is that the same joke last week?
You said the exact same thing last week.
It's a good record.
So, here's the thing. This is the most impressive record ever. Going
for
back and looking for any of us. We usually would I would usually be like 1 or 2 games, but I was like pretty 500. You've ran away with this one.
I'd like to thank my grade 3 teacher, Mrs. Kirsten.
You've made that joke a lot of logic 3 times already.
I would like to thank.
I have the same record that you would have had last year. These are the type of numbers you'd get.
My grade 1 teacher, Mrs. Little.
So next up is Players of the Week for Game 4.
All right, Week 4.
Week 4. Did I say?
Game 4.
Game 4. Week 4. This one is, we're going to need some explanations. And I wrote the script down and I sent it to Corey, and I'm hoping he can remember this. We're going to put explanations now on why. And explanations, we're not going to write a book. All right.
Corey's like, this is where we're going with it.
This is where we're going with this.
Who's the first forward?
First forward that we have is Patrice Carmier of the Bucktouche JCs. 5 points on the weekend.
5 points in one game.
In one game.
Yeah, it's insane. Who's the second one?
Second one, Bryce Milson has 5 points in 2 games.
Bryce had a hell of a weekend, man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I agree with those 2 picks so far. Who's next?
Pierre-Alexandre Panotto of the JCs with a hat trick, his first in the BSHL.
His first goal.
Second, his third. Yep. Another guy that I interviewed, and just a joy to talk with. A great guy.
Why don't you ever call me a joy to talk with?
Well, when you become a joy to talk with, I'll say you're a joy to talk with.
All right, that's fair.
So those are our forwards. Our 2 defensemen, Miles Clements, 2 points, and Francis Thibault, 2 points.
Oh man, I love that. I got to talk to Clemens. I'd never met Miles. Nice guy, good interview. And I just Thibault's such a great defenseman, such a powerful player.
Heart and soul of Dalhousie.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
I think the only other player that I could say is like heart and soul player like that is Pascal Valcourt.
Sure.
Like always, never stops. I saw one thing that Pascal Valcourt did once, and he's been perfect ever since I've seen him do that one little flub, is when he ran into Jesco Bernard.
First game in Amherst.
That was the first game in Amherst. It's no secret Pascal Valcourt is one of my favorite players in the league. Guy's great at hockey.
Yeah, and Matt Thibault had another great weekend. This is another guy I'd take on my team in a heartbeat. Now,
Absolutely.
For this weekend, sucked ass for goalies. I'm just going to put it out there. Terrible weekend for goalies.
Mm-hmm.
But shout out to Jesse Cox for the Amherst Ducks, who faced something like 70 shots. How many shots did he face on Friday night? Insane.
It was close to 50, I believe.
Yeah, it was 60 something, 64.
It was crazy.
So props to you for making that many saves and, man, doing your best, because that's a tough Miramichi team on a night like that.
Oh, here was
goalie of the week?
Well, before we go into the goalie of the week, because this is there's no way to make this happy for anybody, because everybody's going to say this guy should have gotten it, this guy should have gotten it.
We gave it to Cheryl.
We gave it to Cheryl because
no. We didn't give goalie of the week to Cheryl.
No, but seriously, yesterday is Zach LeBlanc, right?
Yep.
Zach LeBlanc got the start for Buck-Touche. So Colette got one game. Every goalie here got one game except for Vautour. Vautour, on Friday, it was Friday, right? Yeah, on Friday, he barely saw any action. I think they had like 10 shots on net
or something, yeah.
So, no, and yesterday, he gave up 7. Colette, he gave up 3 shots,
3 goals.
Or 3 goals. At the end of the day, I looked at who impressed me the most. And to me, Jason Ryu, keeping the Hawks in it and then winning the shootout, I gave it to Jason Ryu. So Alex Colette has been knocked off his perch for this week. And there's the argument. Colette only gave up 3, Ryu gave up 4. The shootout win, the comeback win, I think that's the most impressive.
Yep.
That's
I will back you up with the decision.
You backed me up. That's our choice, and we're going with Jason Ryu. Shout out to Adam Story, who commented, Ryu will be the one to knock off Alex Colette in the top goalie. And Adam Story is correct once again.
Do you want to give him a rum? All right, that's all we got. Corey, we had an interview. Is that all we have for the weekend?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We had an interview last week with, just a great guy to talk to. I've known Bruno for a long time, kind of like on and off, I met him when he was working at l'Acadie Nouvelle, crossed paths a couple times. Really, the first time I got to sit down and talk to him was for this interview. Super great interview, super guy, funny, so generous with his time. Gave us an interview in English and an interview in French. We're going to be
the interview was great. The interview was great, but it's just having a chat with him. It's no secret that the 2022-2023 season is a special season for me and Corey, because without that season, without Hawks hockey, we don't start the BSHL podcast.
100%.
And Bruno was a big part of the Hawks team that year. And just, it was a pleasure on our side to have him. Fantastic guy. Just a fun-loving guy. Loved to laugh. We told jokes. We just can't thank Bruno enough for that. Just one of my favorite interviews that we've had so far.
I agree completely. He came on. He has written a book about Trey Lewis that we both read. I really enjoyed it.
Same.
Thought it was a very easy read, great read. Trey's got an interesting story, where he came from, how hard he worked to get to to go through minor hockey and be as dominant as that team was, and then to go to Halifax, get cut, come back. I can vouch for how hard that kid worked the year that he got cut, because I was in the gym that year, and I'd see him there after school every day. I'd see him doing boxing training and crazy stuff, and he worked his butt off, and he made the team the next year. Went on to win a Memorial Cup, play with Nathan McKinnon, play with Drouin, play with Foucault, be named the captain, go on and get a tryout with the Calgary Flames. Like, it's really an impressive story that a lot of people don't know about for a kid that's from Aldway, New Brunswick.
Crazy.
And now he's a teacher in Elsipogtog and making a huge impact on those kids' lives in LC. And no lie, here we're very honest people. Trey's a friend of mine, and I have a great deal of respect for him. And it's a good read. I recommend anybody pick it up. Anybody give it a read. Bruno's a heck of a guy. Put a lot of time and effort into this, and you'll probably see a quote from some players that you know. Yeah. So give the book
players
a read.
And coaches and all that.
It's a phenomenal book, man.
The book is called Mon Idole Trey Lewis, by the way.
Mon Idole Trey Lewis. You can find it on Amazon. If you're not an Amazon guy, shoot Bruno a message and buy the book. So we're going to throw to that interview. After that interview, we'll have our post-game interviews from this weekend. All JC's players this weekend, because we went to 2 games and they won both games. So we have Miles Clements. We have, I can't even remember everybody, Patrice. Anyway, we've got 4 JC's players that we interviewed. We also interviewed Sully, but the freaking stupid pod track died. The battery on this thing pisses me off, because when you turn it on, it shows full battery life. And then about 2 minutes later, it shows the actual battery life. So
what makes me laugh about that, he goes, Jesus Christ, the one guy that it shouldn't die on is Sullivan Cullen. He's going to kick my ass now.
Yeah, for sure he could kick my ass. Anyway, sorry to Sully, but thanks everybody for the interviews. Man, those interviews post-game have been going so well. All the teams have been so generous and receptive of it. So it's been awesome. Oh, man, what a busy weekend. I'm going to go back to bed after I'm done recording this, Corey. Lord. Thanks for being here, and hope everybody enjoys the interviews. Hope you enjoy that Bruno interview. And we will be back on Thursday with Tracy Zamboni Reviews, which is getting delayed to Thursday this week just because there was a lot of content tonight. So,
yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Corey.
Thank you.
13-5.
7-11.
Yeah, baby. Get a hot dog.
Take care. Let's go.
Talk to you soon.
Take care.
All right. I'm here with Corey.
Good day.
And we have a special guest tonight. This interview is going to be a little bit English, a little bit French. We're going to mix it up. We're going to have some fun. Special guest tonight, the author of Trey Lewis, Mon Idole Trey Lewis, Bruno Richard.
How's it going?
It's going well, man. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for the invite.
It's an honor to have you on here. Definitely one of those guys. So for anybody that doesn't know you, tell me a little bit about yourself, Bruno.
So I grew up in Bedek in Urshabaktu village, played minor hockey, Kin Center, West Kent, AAA, Moncton Flyers, AAA, some junior A with the Beavers, and some university, a little bit in Europe, a little bit of senior in Caraquet, Baie-Saint-Anne as well when I was 18, and played on a hockey TV show back in 2010 in Quebec and Montreal. That was pretty awesome. And a few years ago, I played for the LC Hawks. We won, so I retired after that.
Retire on top? Is that the strategy?
Something like that. I was also 40 years old, so with 2 kids. So
yeah,
had a good run.
That was a memorable year for all Hawks fans for sure. That was a fun one. You also did some Red Bull Crashed Ice.
Yeah, so from 2008 to 2017, I was on the world tour. So I've been to Russia twice and Europe like 20 times. So it was a unbelievable sport. First time I saw that in my life, January 2008, probably changed my life because that's what I wanted to do. It was crazy. Like Red Bull, they put on like the shows. It's nuts with like the music, smoke, the light show, the infrastructure right in town, right in front of Chateau Frontenac in Quebec City. So first time I saw that, I was like, this is what I want to do. And I had a good run as well. Did that for a lot of years, but pandemic kind of put an end to that, and also had a kid or two. So that also slowed me down a little bit.
Slowed you down a little bit for sure. That must have been cool though, like traveling the world and skating, playing that. It's a physical game too.
Yeah, it's a lot of people see it on television. If you see it live, then it's another game. And like the record for the top speed is 82 kilometers an hour.
Wow.
And the longest jump is 88 feet without touching the ice, and that was in that was in Munich, Germany, 2016. That track was crazy.
Yeah, that sounds terrifying, but
yeah. So imagine you have to go down the track, and when you qualify, you're alone on the track. But when it's Saturday night, the main event is 4 against 4. So it's a lot of fun when you're up front and you see the track really well. But when you're second or third and you're battling for position and you're hitting big jumps, sometimes you can't really see where you're going. So it's a whole lot of fun.
It seems like it's a very much an individual sport, but it seems like there's some good connections made in Red Bull Crashed Ice. Like you travel together and
yeah, for sure. And at some point we had like team challenges. So I was paired up with a few guys from Switzerland. I really got along real well with those guys, and was also part of Team Quebec for a while. And we finished fourth in Moscow, Russia in 2014. So that was I gotta say the highlight of my career, but that was up there. So yeah, a lot of good guys, a lot of fun, and it's a little bit like hockey, like senior hockey. When you're on the ice, you don't have too many friends, but once it's done, it's all good.
Absolutely. So as much as we love to talk about your career, your past, we're here to talk about a project you've taken up in the last couple of years, and that project is Money Dol Tré Lewis, a book. Corey and I have both read it. And we enjoyed it a lot. What led you to writing this book, Bruno? Is it the first book you've written?
Yes, it's the first book. So number one is when I was in high school, like in MFL, Saint-Louis, Kent, I always liked to write, but not to read, because like books didn't really interest me. It was either on another planet or something imaginary, and I said, one day I'll write an interesting book. So I always like to read the sports section in l'Acadie Nouvelle. That never really changed. So,
absolutely.
So that was one thing. And the other thing is I had a discussion. It was like spring of 2021 with a guy from Rogersville. He's like 40 years old, played hockey his whole life, he's a hockey fan. And the guy had absolutely no clue who Tré Lewis was. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, because Tré Lewis in Halifax is an absolute legend, could run for mayor and would probably won without any opposition. And he's from Laldoine. And a lot of people, and what I've noticed and realized during my project and my research is even most unknown than I thought. So like I would say 9 out of 10 people, if they don't follow the senior league, the BSHL senior league, they have no clue who he is. So
that's amazing to me, because this is a guy who's won a Memorial Cup, captain of the Halifax Mooseheads, from literally Little Laldoine, a minute from Ellie Grocery. If anybody knows where that is, that's where he grew up, a minute from Ellie Grocery. He's just a good local guy. And yeah, your book really kind of shines a light on that. I loved how you started early in his career and sharing stories from mentors like Danny Scully and Rob McDonald, guys that kind of coached him up. Yeah,
so that group was pretty special. The guys born in 93 in that area. So you have Trey, Tyrone Saw, Rankin Campbell, Cole McDonald, and Alex Scully. Those 5 guys, they won at every level, like growing up, and it was unbelievable. They had powerhouses. Adam, they went 52-0-1. They would destroy teams from Moncton and even Halifax, and that was unbelievable. And their coaching staff was Danny Scully, Robert McDonald, and Jumbo Sock. And So unbelievable what they accomplished. Like they won the Pee Wee AAA Athletics in Rishabakto.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that must have been pretty special. That old rink that unfortunately burned down. It was so special to play there, and they had the chance to not only to play the Athletics but to host it and to win it. So
that was a big tournament for Rishabakto. That place was wild. It was packed. That's an amazing time for hockey and an amazing group of guys that came out of this small part of New Brunswick.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like Trey, a thing that's impressive is he won at every level. Like every level, he's won. And like he's not a McDavid, a McKinnon, or a Crosby, but he's won at every level. And one thing that a lot of people don't know is Trey went to the Calgary Flames rookie camp.
Yep.
So in 2013 with Johnny Gaudreau, Sean Monahan, Michael Furlan, like I saw the list, there was like over 40 guys, and a lot of guys played at least one game in the NHL. So that was pretty impressive. And like before I met Trey, like I didn't know that because Trey is never gonna brag. Never. It's not a guy that brags at all. So it's really like modest, and so I'm impressed.
Yeah, we've had Trey on here a couple times, and to try to make him talk about himself is difficult. He'll talk about the Hawks, he'll talk about his teammates, but he doesn't like to talk about himself. And the reality is, he's you talk about how important he is in the city of Halifax. He's also very important in the community of Elsipogtog. A teacher there, very well respected, and it's unfortunate that more people don't know his story. You shared a quote with me, or you didn't share a quote with me. Sorry, you shared a quote in your book, and I'll read it here. It was il a grandi dans les 2000, mais il a évolué dans les 70, les 80, les 90. C'est vrai, ça. In English, that is, he grew up playing in the 2000s, but he would have evolved in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. It's true. This guy would have been. If he could have been on the Flyers, the Broad Street Bullies, he would have fit right in.
Like a lot of guys, yeah. Like, and he says it like he's not afraid to use his stick. When he played in the queue, like a lot of guys said, we know when we played Trail West, when you go in the corner in front of the net, it's gonna hurt. And it's and look at it as like Trey's stats. Like he never had over 100 penalty minutes in the queue, so. He knew how to play and to play rough and have an impact. And all those guys that I interviewed on that Halifax Mooseheads staff, like Dominique Duchamp, Cam Russell, like all those guys, they said like Trey is one of their favorite players. They played the game really hard, 100% every time, every practice, every shift. So no, he's for sure he's not a gentleman. He's not he would never be nominated for. The Lady Being Award, I'm talking on the ice there. Like,
on the ice, on the ice.
Off the ice, he's a great guy, and I love Trey, and he's a great teacher and all. But on the ice, we know he would never win the Lady Being Award there.
I completely agree, and he's a guy that I would personally not want to drop the gloves with. I think wouldn't end well.
No, I mean neither.
Corey, you're a guy who doesn't read a lot. You're not a huge. I'm an avid reader, so I have a Kindle that's well used, and I love the book. But Corey, you're a guy who doesn't read a lot. You read the book in like 2 sittings.
Yep. Let me correct you. I don't read in French.
Yeah,
I am French, but I haven't read a French book since high school in MFR as well. The thing about this book that I found. The meat and potatoes of it was going to be his QMJHL career. What I found fascinating is you're going back to when he's a literal kid. And the details in that and how they win, who's on the team and all that, the only reason I stopped reading the first time is because my mom was finished in the store. I was sitting in the car reading. I get home that night, finish the book, and I was like, amazing stuff. I haven't read a French book in 20 years, and it was great stuff. But just those little details of going way back and then finishing really with the Hawks winning the cup. I don't know. It's just a book that was just well placed everywhere.
Thank you. I get that a lot, and this is the target. Like, I'm telling myself, if like I was pretty strong in school, and if I didn't really like to read, imagine like the average student or so. And in this book, I get a lot. Hey, I don't read, but I not only I read your book, like, but I read it like in one day, so it's pretty special. And I was saying about like Jean-Marc Dag from Pointe-Sapin, they're 41 years old, and that's exactly what he says. The first time I think I ever finish a book. So there you go. And like right now, it's only like paperback, you call it. Like it's not online because I want to like an old school, So like, it's a real book. So
listen, I actually got my first paper cut in a while reading it. You know, it's a beautiful thing.
And a lot of people are asking for an audiobook because when I talk about this, I get pretty pumped. but I want people to read, and it's part of the exercise. And I'm pretty happy with the way things are going right now. Like the first few days, it was a bestseller on Amazon. So yeah, I was happy about that.
That's incredible, man. I've talked to people from like the Peninsula and Dalhousie who've read the book, and they're not Trey Lewis fans. I'm going to tell you the truth. I love them. I know them. They're great people, but they're not Trey Lewis fans. They love the book, though, because as a hockey fan, you can't help but respect everything that he's done.
And the thing is, it reminds me a little bit of Brad Marchand. Like people that if you're not a Bruins fan, like you don't like Brad Marchand, but if you're a Bruins fan, you like him. So it's a little bit like that. Yeah. But like. There's a lot of lesson in that book. There's a lot of lesson. Like Trey Lewis, went to university, got 2 degrees. He's a teacher, so and he worked really hard his whole life. And there's a lot of different lessons. And even like there's a coach that's saying, "Well, we know that if he needs to block a shot with his face, he'll do it. So he'll do it. He'll do what it takes to win." So. And at the end of the day, he's a winner. He's won everywhere he played. So, and being on that Moosehead teams when they won 77 out of those 88 games that year, and he played in the regular season, he was a plus 38 player. Plus 38. So that's
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's
an amazing story, man. I definitely encourage everybody to pick up the book. Amazon.ca. If you're not comfortable buying books online, you can reach out to Bruno. He'll get you a copy somehow.
Oh, yes, for sure. Like a lot of people are not comfortable to buy books on Amazon. So I was actually at the book fair there last week, but you can also reach out to me on Messenger. I do some posts on my Facebook page there. A lot of like Jocelyn Gallon bought a few copies. Jocelyn, that's from Saint Louis de Kent. It was a great had great quotes from Jocelyn in the book, and his dad as well. Georges was a coach of Trey's when he was a young kid, and Georges said early on you could see that this guy was going somewhere. So
for sure,
he was only the best player, was the best goalie, and so
100%. I agree. All right, Bruno, we love it. We love having you on. Thank you for taking time out to come on. Hopefully everybody goes out, picks up the book. It's a great Christmas gift. Christmas is just a couple months away. Buy it for your hockey fan. I'm probably going to buy a couple copies for some gifts for a couple people. One of them might be a joke, though. One of them really isn't a Hawk fan, and I think I want to buy him the trade book. You know?
I get that a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a JC's fan that I said, I'm afraid to open the book and I'm going to receive a punch in the face. But
yeah, that's exactly what I think it's going to be. It's going to be a JC's fan that might get that for Christmas. But, also, I just think that it's worth reading. So hopefully a lot of people pick it up. So thank you, Bruno, for your time. And thank you for writing such a great book for this part of New Brunswick. I hope everybody enjoys it.
Thanks for having me. Go Hawks, go.
Thank you, Bruno.
See you, Bruno.
Thanks.
All right, we're here with Miles Clements, Bucktush JC's. Huge win tonight in the Peninsula. You scored the first goal, teed off. Hell of a shot. Great goal, great pass. Tell me about that goal.
Oh, I think I closed my eyes, honestly, but they always go in practice, but never so much in games. But it felt good. It was my fault on the first one, so it was good to get it back.
The definitely came with a smaller team tonight, not your full roster. Says a lot about the depth of the JCs this year. Talk to me about the depth, but also the chemistry is kind of fucking nuts. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, it's fun to play on. Like, for a lot of these guys here, we grew up playing together, and I mean, there's a lot of new guys with PA and Patatis coming, and some boys that were playing in Moncton in their younger days, and we all knew each other growing up, and it's just, it gels good and it's fun. Like, any of us can plug in the lineup and we're gonna have the same result, so it's fun.
Awesome, man. Congrats on the win. Thanks for this.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good day, bye.
All right, who do I have with me today?
Malcolm.
Malcolm what?
Malcolm Alain. My bad.
Malcolm Alain from the Southeast Knights. You're an affiliated player. You've had a hell of a game tonight. What's it feel like playing for the JCs?
Oh, it feels good in my hometown. Not every day I can play for them, so it's fun. It's fun.
Awesome, man. Talk to me about the Southern Knights. They've got a solid organization too. Junior B is great hockey.
Yeah, we got a great team this year. We started off slow, but now we're getting it rolling. So we got a couple of wins under our belt, and we're gonna push hard for the playoffs.
Awesome, man. You guys have a huge rival in the Kent Coyotes for sure. That's always a great game to get out to. So do you plan to play a few more games for the JCs if you're free?
I hope so. If I'm free, I'll be here.
Attaboy. Congrats on the game, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Corey Boto here with the podcast. I'm here with Pierre-Alexandre Parenteau. Big night tonight, a hat trick, another big win for you guys. How does this feel?
It feels pretty good. I thought we played pretty well for the most part. We had a huge letdown in the third, but we stuck with it. So at the end of the day, we got to learn from it as a team. I think we got a good group of guys. It's fun. I'm having a hell of a time right now.
The leadership in this locker room seems to be unbelievable. Yourself, Patrice Cormier, and even Jacques Cormier, Matthew Newcomb. Talk to me about the chemistry here.
I think everyone's buying in, which is fun. I know it's only senior hockey, but the boys want to win every night. And we got, like you said, Jacques, Newcomb, Pat, myself. I think we're taking the load here with the veterans, and it's fun. It doesn't matter what league you're in; you always want to win as a hockey player.
The crowd support here is unbelievable. Talk to me about the fans here in Bucktouche.
So far, it's been great. I think the support is there. I think they're pretty happy with me and Pat coming in and play, and but they already had some guys, like you said. Jacques Cormier has been a staple here, so we're just trying to fit in and having some fun. I think we've been doing that when we have a chance.
Congratulations on the win, and have a good one.
Thank you.
Corey with the podcast here with Patrice Cormier, 6 points on the night. Talk to me about this.
Honestly, I've never really played hockey since I was maybe out of May. I was trying to get points in Pee Wee AAA, but my pro hockey game was always playing the right way. I know it sounds a little corny, but same thing here. I'm not thinking, I'm going to score 3 tonight. I'm thinking, be a good teammate, work, put guys in positions to succeed. And I won a few face-offs, made a few nice plays, and we were lucky enough to score a few goals. So help the team win. That's the priority. And tonight, obviously, we did a pretty good job of it. So good job on the line mates. Everybody helped. Goalie made some big saves. I'm sure he wants a few back too, but that's all right. Good team win. Good for the fans. It's nice to see them still on the ice at the end, just regrouping the guys in the middle together and giving the fans a salute. I think it means a lot, and for them to be here in pretty big crowd. That's 3 in a row now, so it's nice to see them coming. I hope a lot more guys, and a lot of fans from Miramichi too, so thanks for them to come in and support in their team, and it makes for a good senior hockey game, really.
Absolutely. Spoken like a true leader. And the leadership in this locker room is unbelievable. Yourself, Pierre-Alexandre Parenteau, but Jacques Cormier, Matthew Newcomb. Talk to me about the chemistry here.
You know what? I wish we could practice more. It's good, but it could be so much better. I know it's senior hockey. I know but I see these guys once, maybe 2 times a week. Hopefully, I can get to play more. whenever the university, when we play, coaching is the priority. But hopefully next weekend I can be there for both games at home and in Amherst. So the more we play together and hang out together, I think it makes a huge difference. So we got leaders. Doesn't matter if you got letters on your jerseys. We got guys that played at high levels all around. So hopefully we can keep this thing rolling.
Hopefully so. Thank you for your time and congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much.